Well, the final part of the show, and we're on to those dark horse picks for Memorial. Now, I'm joined by Jay Kaplan, who's the master of the dark horse picks, on location as well. You and Elk are just living the dream this week, here, there, and everywhere. Jay has been coaching baseball, that's his other job, and he is losing his voice. Actually, you lost your voice, and thankfully, it's come back a tiny little bit for us to do this.
I woke up this morning at 5 and drank tea and honey like every 10 minutes just so I could make this show. That's how important you are in the entire Secret Golf Tour Report universe. So you're just going to have to bear with me. I might start yelling because I've been yelling for 3 days at high school kids. And I think hopefully everyone out there can relate to the stress that's involved in. So I'll do my best.
You also sent me some notes, so if all else fails, I can read your notes and then we'll be all right. Okay, so, well, do you want to go first? And we can rattle through yours and then we can end on mine. But you have 2 dark horse picks this week. And the first one is someone that Elk and I were like, stay away from.
That actually makes me feel better because when the world goes with the consensus pick, I usually like to go the other way. So clearly that's what I'm going to do. And you have every right to tell the secret golf world to stay away from this guy. He's been atrocious for the last month. It's a month and a half, but he does play. He's a player. He's a guy that we've used before as our dark horse pick, and he's actually performed pretty well for us. And his numbers match up with Muirfield Village. He is a guy that I can count on, that if he is a top 20 finish, I'm going to feel good about it. And his FedEx rank really isn't that bad this year. I'm trying to justify and rationalize everything, which I normally don't do. But when we spit him out in the numbers, he came up in a spot that warrants the dark horse look. Yeah. So I'm not going to try to spin it with statistics. He's not playing well. But I think this is the week that he's going to start to turn it around, and what a better place to do it under the nose of Jack Nicklaus. My first dark horse pick is the one and only Carlos Ortiz. He's going to upset you this week.
We love that phrase. This is going to be the week that they turn it around. I wasn't laughing at your Ortiz pick. I was laughing at your gravelly voice and how hard you're trying to get through this.
Really?
But I mean, Ortiz did jump all the way up to number 16 in our re-ranking this week. That was a big jump based on his official world golf ranking. He's 140 to 1, and he's green across the board with his numbers. You know, when it's a course that the guys, obviously we've talked about the renovations so much, so it's not essentially a new course, but it's going to be a very different course for them, and ball striking is going to be premium. He's 29th on the tour, and putting average, he's 32nd. Solid numbers, and as you say, we all know the type of player that Ortiz is. I mean, he won the Houston Open, had a great finish in Phoenix earlier this season, so he can do it, and he maybe just needs a bit of a blank canvas course to go out there and play his game.
Yeah, and you know, I think the renovations are going to play into the mind of most of the players. The guys that always play here, and it's most of them, feel comfortable at this course. And now there may be a little bit of doubt, even after practice rounds, of noticing the differences. And then the guys that are coming in struggling might feel like, you know what, the field is coming back to me. So if I can just play to my strength, I've got a chance. I feel like Ortiz is that guy this week. And I look forward to this time next week when I can say, Diane, you and Elk, once again, wrong.
Yeah, we looked at him for a sizzler actually, and we both were like, nah, there's not enough momentum. But at 140 to 1, he is a solid dark horse pick. Right, so that's your first one. Your second one, are you able to get through it?
I hope so. I might have to duck out for a little tea and honey or something, but I'm going to really battle. It shows my intestinal fortitude. My second dark horse pick is a guy that is trending forward, which I really like. He's played here plenty, and one of his dream foursomes includes the founder of Muirfield Village, but doesn't that guy, isn't he included in everybody's dream foursome? I would think Jack Nicklaus is. If not, need to reevaluate yourself. My pick, one of my foursome is this guy. That's how strongly I feel about him this week. And then if he makes the cut, he can stay. If he misses the cut, he needs to get out. Okay. But I know he's going to be motivated. He's actually trending in the right direction. And when you look at his numbers, his only Achilles heel is his scrambling, but he's accurate. And from 150 and in, he ranks 10th on tour, which is perfect for Muirfield Village. So I'm going to stick with my gut instinct, and I'm going to make this guy one of my coveted dark horse picks of the week. My final dark horse pick is Brendan Steele.
At 250 to 1. Also, because you did send me notes in case your voice cracked, his uncle played Luke on General Hospital.
That's right. And
Brendan made his TV acting debut on an episode of Bones in 2015.
So this man craves the attention that I think he'll get for being near the top of the leaderboard. And who of my era doesn't remember the Luke and Laura drama after school at 3:00 that our parents forced us to watch? Mm-hmm. Who doesn't remember that? Except for you, Diane. You were probably watching some Scottish soap opera. Do they have those over there?
Yep.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
He's playing well. I mean, he was third at the Honda. Started the year with that top 5 finish at the Sony Open, played good at the Zurich Classic, the team event, finished tied for 4th there. So, yeah, I mean, it's all pointing in the right direction. And Brendan Steele at 250 to 1. I mean, there's, again, going to be value in a top 20, a top 10. So I like it. Okay, well, let's move on to my dark horse pick this week. And this is another one that Elk was like, we were thinking about him for a sizzler, and Elk wanted to stay away. And when you look at his numbers, you can see why. But I'm going with Sebastian Munoz. And I was quite surprised to see that he's 125 to 1, especially after the way that he's been playing lately. He had a top 10 finish at the Valero Texas Open last week at Colonial, was in a tie for 3rd, had a pesky double bogey on, I think, the 15th hole, but then backed it up birdie par to finish, so that moved him up. And there's just been some really good momentum from him. Ball striking, he is 46th total driving on the PGA Tour, and putting average, I mean, 59th. It's not mind-blowing or anything, but it's still a relatively decent number for Sebastian Munoz. It looks as though he's been, this is going to sound really creepy, but like he's lost a bit of weight. He's maybe been working out. And when I was watching the coverage on Sunday, he just had this kind of like swagger of confidence that I hadn't seen from him in a really long time. So I think that Munoz's game could be on a bit of an upturn right now, and at 125 to 1, I think he is a good dark horse.
Like that you're creeping on his physical form.
I didn't mean it like that, but I was just like, oh, he's definitely, been thinking about that.
That tells me he's motivated to succeed, and it paid off for him last week. So keep watching him through the window of his workouts, and maybe this can be a consistent dark horse for you since you're creeping.
Yep. Okay, so our dark horse picks this week, yours, Carlos Ortiz and Brendan Steele, and I'm going with Sebastian Munoz.